Good evening, y'all. Hey, we all know about the Connecticut state troopers and how pretty much every state trooper that's on the road in the state of Connecticut has created some kind of corruption, with fudging their tickets and such. Okay, if you have deception, deception is fraud. Fraud at the government level is corruption. So there's, the whole state police in Connecticut is corrupt. Well, we know that's everywhere. And down here in Florida, our piggies have been rolling in the mud and shit's been sticking to them. Soo-wee! So let me share this with y'all.
We are now hearing from Broward Sheriff Gregory Tony after 17 deputies have been arrested and charged with fraud. Local 10's Roy Ramos is live with this developing story. Roy.
Nicole, and we have learned that nearly 100 BSO employees did apply for the PPP loans. And of the 100, 17 of them are now facing federal charges. Well, as you mentioned today, we did get a chance to speak with Broward Sheriff Gregory Tony about these allegations. And he says if his employees were involved in this type of criminal activity, they do not deserve to be working in the law enforcement profession. Did you believe you were receiving these loans legitimately? 17 members of the Broward Sheriff's Office, which include both BSO deputies and detention deputies, released from the federal courthouse in Fort Lauderdale after being indicted on charges that include wire fraud after federal investigators said they fraudulently applied for and received funds from the Paycheck Protection Program, or PPP loans.
Bonds were set. They're being released. Nobody, as far as I know, is being detained. And we'll take it from there. We'll be back in court.
Attorney Brian Silver represents 3 of the defendants, some of whom have either been suspended or placed on leave pending the outcome of the investigation.
I can't comment on the nature of the case.
While the charging documents do not allege that any of the defendants committed the charged offenses in the course of their official duties, this does not in any way diminish the seriousness of what the defendants are alleged to have done here.
Sheriff Gregory Tony said he first learned of the crimes in November of 2021, prompting him to investigate all 5,500 of his employees, including himself and other top brass. Of the 17 indicted, 7 BSO deputies and 1 sergeant in law enforcement, and 8 detention deputies and 1 sergeant in corrections.
I hate to see that, knowing some of the individuals and seeing the names on that list that's being indicted, some of them were good officers. But you're only as good as the last act and conduct that you execute.
We learned the defendants involved received tens of thousands of dollars, and while the investigation has proved that some of whom were investigated did have legitimate businesses, at the very least, the 17 now facing federal charges allegedly did not.
If you're going to be participating in criminal activities, we don't want you in this profession.
And while 17 BSO employees have been indicted, we are told that this investigation does continue and there could be more indictments to come. We'll be sure to stay on top of this. For now, outside of BSO headquarters near Fort Lauderdale, Roy Ramos, Local 10 News.
Thank you, Mr. Roy Ramos. Good reporting. Okay, that was Sheriff Tony. He's a Governor DeSantis plant down there. They had a problem with their sheriff like we did here, and they got a... Anyway, after he was there for a minute, him and his wife come out on a Swingers magazine ad somehow, I don't know. But y'all can Google that. All right, so look here. It's not like they said. I've read others, like I'm quoting from the Bulldog. It states that there's a whole shitload of officers, captains and majors and such, and plenty of lieutenants that subscribe to this shit. Okay, there's supposed to be 100 indicted through other sources. I just rolled this because this was their, the news that I would get from down there. But if that happened there, can you imagine what's happened elsewhere? So you can, check on that, These people, they break the law. Just like the fella in Ohio, the drug dealer that got robbed by the police, he said, y'all got to pay these people more. That's why they're out here robbing us. So here we go with that. Parting shot. And I got plenty of other work in the process. Y'all have a good evening. Thanks for listening. Bye now.